What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is January the 30th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, GDP just came out a little bit lower than the consensus. So 2.3 the actual, 2.6 the consensus. I think the market right now is taking it somewhat positively, only because it still wants negative data, which this is. It's just not extremely negative, it's just negative enough. And so again, that's all linked to interest rates and cuts potentially down the line, but nonetheless, this isn't all that great. But moving over to this, so Dow is down now 0.04, S&P is up 0.27, and then NASDAQ is up 0.44%. So yeah, it's an interesting day. At the same time, I think Tesla unveiling their earnings, Meta, both doing fairly well. Microsoft, they were kind of not necessarily the best, so I think the market's going to be digesting all of that, as well as what Powell stated yesterday. So should make for a fun day. As of right now, this isn't moving still, so still under the neutral category. But starting off, Sofi, no news, no SEC filings. It's piggybacking off the broader market. 12.45% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 134.02 million shares. They haven't been doing all that much over the last couple of trading days, just increasing like kind of a couple 100,000 here and there, nothing significant. So it is fair to assume that today will be no different. Tomorrow being Friday, that might be a kind of a more of an active day, if that makes sense, only to potentially manipulate it below strike prices. And plus, you do have PCE coming out tomorrow, and that's going to be a key data point that the Feds do watch for inflation. So that's going to be first right out the gate for tomorrow. With it at 1613, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 1572 will be a strong support. I don't see that being touched today. 1672 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Similarly, I don't really see that being touched today, but I think it'll kind of ladder itself up to close to that point, but it won't break it or anything like that. Moving on, ticker ATHE, so Alterity Therapeutics. It is up 99%, so definitely having a nice run right now, and that is because of this. So good, positive phase 2 results, and for a biotech, that's what you need. Biotechs aren't my forte, so I'm not going to go through this news pretending that I know what it is or anything like that, but nonetheless, just take note of some of the strong support and resistance points. So as of right now, it does show no change since yesterday through Ortex. So every time in my personal experience that shows as this, there's changes happening behind the scenes. So Ortex is updating, and so take that with a grain of salt. With it at $5.68, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. 534 is going to be that next strong support, and I do see that potentially being touched as well. But flip side, $7.81. This is going to be a momentum play today, and with the grayness in the market, I think a lot of capital is going to get in on this. So you could see this R3 touch, and then as well, maybe even enough of a pullback for this R2 to be touched. So kind of trade with caution, but nonetheless, it should make for a very good swing trade. Aside from that, Tesla. So Tesla is up this morning, even though they did miss on their tentative numbers. So I think this exact type of scenario played out last time. They did miss on their numbers, but they gave good future guidance. So Tesla is a good example of what the market looks for the future on. And so, yeah, the market saw it as a positive in the end. So let me know your viewpoint on that, but only 2.25% of the free floats being shorted. So it's not a squeeze play. They won't really be that big of a deal or anything like that. With it at 406, it is trading between these 2 points. So this pivot and this S1, 359, which most likely will definitely not be touched anytime soon. And then flip side, 413 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. And I can see that being touched today if there is enough momentum in the broader market, optimism about maybe neutral Powell possibly. But aside from that, it most likely a good chance that it'll just trade within limbo. I think Tesla is one of the most heavily traded stocks through options as well. So maybe the market is just waiting for it to open and then people will be buying calls for it to kind of run up. So something to keep in mind. Ticker LAES did put out news early this morning at 1 a.m. So it says that they strengthened their US post-quantum semiconductor footprint with SEALSQ USA. So yeah, looks like they're expanding. So usually companies love to hear, or the market loves to hear that. It is on the threshold list ever since it looks like January the 24th. 30.41% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 17.02 million shares. Shorts have always been very reactive to this stock, suppressing it at seems to be all costs. So anticipate them to be very active today. With it at 350, it is trading between these 2 points, so this S2 and this S3. 321 is going to be the next strong support, and then 370 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So I feel like given the circumstances, it will trade within here. You're not going to see any crazy breakouts. You're not going to see it above this S2 most likely. So I think just the suppression from shorts might keep it just here. That's it. So trade accordingly. And then last but not least, this one is and was down 90 like something percent, ticker CLEU. So this one honestly is an interesting one because I have not seen any news, no speculative articles, rumors, nothing like that. So yeah, it's down. Something's happening behind the scenes. I'm just not really aware of it yet, but yeah, big money is definitely trading it. And it has been running up recently, so it did have a run from like 7 to whatever, but yeah, this 88%, I would be very cautious to buy the dip on because they just got cleared and rubber stamped by, looks like they just regained compliance from the minimum bid price rule, and that was from doing a reverse stock split in December. So December 24th, they did a 1 for 15. January 2024, they did a 1 for 15 as well. So trade with caution. I'm sure you can swing trade it, but 23.65% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 3.45 million shares. And right now, if you do want to trade it, 54 cents will be the strong support. $1.76 will be that next strong target / resistance. So yeah, I think on this one you could make some money, but don't get caught holding it at the end. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.